haven't uploaded in like a week and a half because it's basically been raining here for a week and a half. So I've not really been out in my garden other than to check for like damaged plants. We had some hail the other night and luckily everything seems, my potatoes got a little bit of like, you know, hail damage. But everything else pretty much made it okay. But I haven't been out here, so I'm gonna take you guys on a garden tour, show you what I got going on, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, y'all, so we're out here in the garden. This is kind of what we've got going on. It looks a little wild, so I'll explain what my method is here and why. I started these potatoes exceptionally early because this is my garden space and this is all I have. This is a large garden. I'm not complaining about the size of my garden. We were lucky to get a garden in this year after moving at the time we did. But I have a method to my madness. I knew if I lost these potatoes, I would not be heartbroken over it, but I would be excited if we got any potatoes. And so I actually need this space in the middle of June to do some hybrid tomatoes because all I started was heirlooms and I've never grown hybrid tomatoes, and I'm really curious to know the difference in production rate. My heart loves heirloom tomatoes, but I really want to grow some hybrid tomatoes, some determinate tomatoes. I've never done a determinate tomato, and so I need this space for that to put those plants in this summer. And if I don't get to do the hybrid tomatoes, I want to plant some other stuff here that my kids enjoy eating. And so I planted these potatoes about 3 weeks early. So these are red Norland potatoes, this big patch here. They've got about 5 to 6 weeks left if my math serves me correctly. And if I move on down here, I have these potatoes. Now these I ordered from Territorial Seed Company. They're Kennebec seed potatoes. They're just now popping up. So there's like a really little one right there, all right down through here. And I was actually worried about these when I got them. The eyes on them, I was like, these don't look like they've been cured long enough. They looked like you could still eat them, that kind of thing. And so I put them in the ground being exceptionally hopeful. And Territorial has never disappointed me. Their seeds that they've sent me have always been great. Their plants, I've ordered whole plants from them, always been great. And so with a hopeful heart, I put these in the ground, knowing that Territorial Seed Company has always served me well, and sure enough, they popped up. Now these probably got the most hail damage. You can see the holes kind of there. There's one way back there, and when I get up in the garden, I'll show you guys that one. I think it's gonna recover, but it's pretty beat up. So these are Kennebec potatoes. These are red Norland potatoes. This is like your basic red potato. These got a little beat up. If you look down in here really closely, like there's chunks of leaves missing, but they did okay. I do have giant rocks in my bed from where I would have to come out here and cover these up if it got too cold. Those were like my weights I would put on the sheeting. But these are looking really good considering they've been through a couple of frosts and some hail damage. So I am very impressed. I will always start my potatoes early. They're easy to cover up. They're easy to protect. They rebound really well. And I think next year I'll probably just go ahead and start those at the same time. Over here, if you look down in my cinder blocks, my goal with this, when we did this raised bed, I knew that the cinder blocks would not be as beautiful as cedar. I gave up the beauty of cedar beds this year because of the cost of lumber. It is astronomical right now. Nobody wants to pay for lumber. So we did the cinder blocks. I might paint them one day. I might let my kids come out here and use chalk and decorate them every once in a while. But the one solution I came up with that would just make this garden beautiful is to plant flowers in the holes. So throughout the summer, I will have an entire wall of flowers out here, all the way from one end to the other. So that was kind of my solution to make this beautiful. And I really hope that it is all that I'm imagining it's going to be. I've got sunflowers, zinnias, a flower called aster that I've never planted before. And I need to thin them out. It's just been so wet and rainy I've not been able to. This little guy right here is either a mammoth sunflower or a titan sunflower. And I planted that for my kids. I'm gonna plant a few more. I think I'm just gonna go like do a row all the way down right here. We'll see. I've never done giant sunflowers, so that's really exciting. This dill has suffered a lot, but it is rebounding mighty fine. And so this is a bushy little dill plant. Usually when I get them, they're kind of gangly. I did buy these from Lowe's. The basil bit the dust. I did not realize that basil was not frost tender because it's so sensitive to heat, and I did not cover it. But my dill is doing really good. I just didn't have time to start these from seed this year. We were moving at the end of February, beginning of March. That would have been a complete nightmare. These two plants are just thriving. This is parsley. I use parsley in almost everything I cook. And then this is cilantro. I love me some good tortilla soup, vegetable tortilla soup, not chicken tortilla soup. And I have picked quite a bit off of this, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So that's doing really well. I have a rosemary plant right there that I need to move. Haven't decided where I'm going to move her to, but she's going to get moved. If we walk up in the garden over here, I have 6 cabbage plants. Again, I didn't start these. We were moving. The seedlings would not have made it here in one piece. They would have been destroyed. And so I did buy these starts. I bought them, if you look at how big they are, I got the smallest ones I could find that were about that size. That one I did start from a seed. I don't know if it's going to make it. I think it's going to get too hot too fast, but I bought them about that size, and this is how they're doing. I haven't done anything to them aside from, come out here and prune the yellow leaves off of them. Same with these broccoli plants. They're looking really good. I really hope I can get some broccoli off of them this year. That would be so exciting. This one in particular is just so pretty. Over here, I have my lettuce patch that I need to come out here and thin out. It's been so wet, so rainy. I've got spinach right there. That on the far side there is butter crunch, or it's a butterhead lettuce. The specific variety I have written down on my grid in the house. And then I have a red leaf. That's Freckles romaine right there. I believe this one's Marvel of 4 Seasons, or that one is Marvel of 4 Seasons, and the other one is Bronze Mignon. I'm not 100% sure which one is which till they get bigger. I did write that down. And then right over here, I have a kale plant, Ragged Jack, or Red Russian, whichever you prefer calling it by. That is my favorite kale. It is so delicious. And then I'm gonna walk back over here. In this area, I planted some zucchini plants that have not germinated yet. If they don't germinate in a few days, I am going to re-sow them because it's been a while and we've gotten so much rain that they very well could have been washed away. And then if I come over here, I saw a sprout over here a minute ago. A bean sprout. There it is. Where is it? There it is. I planted on this trellis homestead pole beans and rattlesnake pole beans. So that's one or the other. I alternated them. I've got another one popping up right there. Well, there's a few of them. They're all starting to really pop through the ground there. I will be able to tell those apart when they get bigger and start producing beans. On this trellis, I did Kajari melons and cantaloupes, and on that back trellis I did cucumbers, Be It Alpha, Armenian Yard Long, Boston Pickling, and National Pickling cucumbers. My kids eat so many cucumbers, and I have a lot of kids if you haven't watched my videos before. And so I planted that trellis heavy. If I have to thin it out, what a pretty bird. I don't know if you can see that bird right in that tree there. It's focusing on my hand, but it is bright blue. Anyways, my kids love cucumbers. So if the tomato plan doesn't work out for the potato patch, I have some pallets over here that they delivered the cinder blocks on. I'm gonna stack up and grow more cucumbers over there for my kids. And then we have some more flowers down here. Not much to look at right now. They're just little seedlings. And if I go down here, these are all of my tomatoes I transplanted. I think the trees pretty well protected them from, there's a tree overhang here, from the hail damage. It doesn't look like they sustained much at all. But I planted, these two are Abe Lincolns, and then those three are cherry tomatoes. I think those are yellow pear, and I think those are chocolate cherry, but I could be wrong. I'm proud of myself. This is the first year I've planted tomatoes and spaced them apart properly. My biggest concern with the tomatoes over here is when we put these trellises up, and like I said, we just moved here, so we're learning more about this property. When we put these trellises up, we weren't sure where the sun was gonna fall. And I've learned that the ones in the back get the least amount of sun. They get about 3 to 5 hours of sun a day. It's not a whole lot, but I have done some research, and I just happened to plant my cherry tomatoes in the right spot because I've been told, and I have found in my research, that cherry tomatoes actually do okay in shade. And then the ones up here get enough sun. They don't get a whole lot. And so next year, I think I'm actually going to take these trellises. I'm going to move them where the potatoes are, because I get about 6 to 8 hours of sun over there and about 4 to 6 hours of sun over here. So I know they'll do okay. It's another reason I'm wanting to plant hybrid tomatoes over there, just to ensure I get, you know, enough to put up for at least a little while. And then there is nothing planted right here. I need to get in here and kind of get these leaves and stuff up that have broken off into the garden, because I need to be able to see my sprouts. But I'm gonna put my peppers here, my okra, probably another zucchini plant or two, and then whatever space I have left. If we go over in the greenhouse, it's a little muddy out here, so I'm just trying not to fall. If we go over into the greenhouse, I'll show you how many extra tomato starts I have. It's a little ridiculous. I got a little overexcited about tomatoes. I love tomatoes. They're my favorite food. They're good on everything. I'm not joking. I will eat them like apples. I need to put some sort of weed cloth in here. I may just put some painter's plastic down to kill all this stuff out. I don't know that this is where my greenhouse will stay either, because like I said, this side of the garden doesn't get a ton of sunlight, but I have like 35 extra plants. So I have this flat and this flat, and then I have some in my car that I've been like lugging around and giving away to people as I drive around town, which is a bit ridiculous.